Hello everybody, back here again for Vlog-A-Day, and today is Sunday the 14th, and today was a lovely, beautiful day to be alive. Got up this morning fairly early. Dogs kind of make a little noise and stuff, so I got up, got them outside, got them separated out, got them fed, had one back in. It's kind of a slow eater, kind of a grazer kind of thing. So, but I jumped in the hot tub for a little bit, got done with that, got a couple other things taken care of, and then Mom was up, and it was time. I was like, yeah, Karen's still sleeping, I'm gonna let her sleep. So I left like the noisemakers and stuff on, like the little white noisemaker and whatnot, so kind of keep the rest of the house drowned out from her sleeping. So decided I was going to run up to Ormond Beach to a car show. There's a car show called Eastbound. I think it's Eastbound and Down. I think that's what, Eastbound. At least I know it's Eastbound something. I think it has to end down. But it was more of a truck show than a car show. There was a lot of stuff. There's a couple cars here and there, but more of a truck thing than a car thing. And there was a gentleman I chatted with on YouTube a little bit who's north of me up in Daytona area, and I had suggested, hey, maybe we can meet up. Got some things I want to pick your brain about my Suburban and whatnot. And then also I want to pick his brain more about building my garage and what he would put in a shop when it comes time to build it. Says he's been working on cars a lot longer than I have, and I figured what the heck. Plus he was complaining about not having a lift and wanting access to a lift. So I thought, well, if I get the shop built and get the lift, he can come down and use the lift off and on, which is my ultimate goal of that shop, which I don't see it happening. But in a fantasy world, I would have just random friends and stuff that would come in. Anybody who needed to borrow a lift, didn't have access to the lift, didn't have access to a big shop, could come in, swap out a transmission or a motor, or he'll do a full body swap. Just can't take over my lift for 6 months. That's not going to happen. But one of those kind of things that also by having those people there, when it come time that I needed a hand with something that was either heavy or awkward or above my skill level, they would also be able to come down and give me advice and or a hand in that process. So, but he talked about meeting up at the car show, and I understand his trepidation. He doesn't know me. Kind of just some dude on YouTube who reached out, wanted to meet up with the guy. I understand that concept. He wanted to meet up at the car show, and got there, did not see him around, didn't see any of his vehicles that I recognized of his, and don't know if he was there on Sunday. He might have been there Friday or Saturday, didn't make it on Sunday, who knows. So I reached out to him again saying I was at the show, and then didn't hear back from him, which happens. But got up there, it was up by the Harley dealership. It was decent. There's a lot of nice trucks, some that weren't so great, and pretty good, just the general car show feel. But it's one of those things that, it's kind of a strange thing. I haven't been in that world for a long time, and seeing some of the different things they're doing to their cars and stuff is definitely not something I'm used to. I've noticed a couple of things. I'm like, oh, that's kind of weird. Why would somebody do that to their car and their truck? Whatever, technically truck. But then I go to the next truck and it had the same setup. I'm like, what the hell? Like, there's no purpose for this. And I don't really say I think aesthetic value to it, but it is what it is. And then I figure probably what happened was 3 or 5 years ago, somebody won some award who had that done to their vehicle. And everybody who built a car since then also does that to their vehicle. That's how the car world usually ends up. But went around the show a little bit. Then at the far end, they put way out behind the RV shop, way like half mile away, maybe farther. They had the car audio stereo contest division of the car show, which was kind of cool. They put them that far away, so it wasn't just superbly annoying everybody else in the car show. It was just all the noise and stuff. But it was interesting. Used to be in that world pretty heavy. Had a little stereo shop for a while, and one year, the first year I had my shop, I went into a brand called MA Audio, which was pretty big at the time, and I was the #1 MA Audio seller in Iowa. So it was kind of cool that I was out of my little tiny shop in the back of my pet store with selling that much stuff, that I made that ranking, which was kind of cool. But it was one of those things that it's such a different world. It's really interesting to see how it all breaks down, and things have changed a lot in that world, but a lot of things haven't changed. They're still pretty similar stuff. So, but guys are really into like just the crazy deal. The big thing I noticed difference was the mic for our DB contest. They had to be placed a specific spot on the windshield when I was doing it, and your car had to be fully shut, like all the windows up, sunroof, doors, everything shut, and cars had to be off. Now apparently with these contests, they're allowed to have doors open. They're allowed to put the microphones anywhere they want them. So you can put the microphone like right in the port of the sub box and stuff, get the most pressure, and which is kind of strange. And they're also allowed to let the car run, which it is what it is, but amps produce more wattage for sound when they're clocking over 12 volts. So if you have a big 16 amp or 18 amp alternator on there, you can really cramp that, or 18 volt alternator on there, you can really crank that thing up and get more power through your amp output for less money. But hey, everybody's got their own thing. They make some different rules, they change some stuff. I don't know if they're making it better or making it worse, who knows. So, but it was kind of an interesting little concept of how that was going down. So I saw a couple of those little things and chatted a few people who were kind of, happy to show you what they got, happy to talk about it, whatnot, which is kind of cool. So from there, head back over to the car show. I ran there for a while, gave out some awards and stuff. About 12:30, I started giving out awards. And the one thing I wish would have been better, some of the big car shows will have to drive the car across and then you get to see what won. My thing is at least get like a projector screen up there or something that puts a picture of the car up there, because when you just say 98 Ford F-250, there's 4 of them out there. I don't know which one won. So not the end of the world. I think most of the people there is kind of more of a smaller knit group when they're in the show, that they all know who owns what vehicles. So, and a lot of the people had already left that won the contest, which there was a lot of people that take trophies to them and whatnot, which is kind of sucks, because I guess I should have come up on Saturday, but oh well. Because the show I saw some pictures online, and I got back and there was a bunch of vehicles that I didn't get to see because they'd already left. So, but I still paid my $10, went to the car show and checked it out. That was pretty much all we did there. So while I was there, I had 2 more dogs that were supposed to go home today. Both of them were going in the afternoon. And I was like, I'll go up and run the car show for a bit, and then come back, get the dogs back, and they'll be fine. And I get a text from one of them saying they're way early and they're gonna pick the dog up in like 30 minutes. And I'm like, okay. Well, at this point, I'm over 30 minutes from the house if I was in my truck. And I still gotta walk like a mile back to my truck. So there's no way I'm making it back in time. So I said I'll contact my wife, my mother, and let them know the dog's getting picked up. And then shortly after that, about 50 minutes after that, I had somebody else text me and said they're way early and they're gonna pick the dog in about 15 minutes, which meant they were both gonna double up. And I basically, actually originally said they're gonna be there later. And then they said, actually it's only 15 minutes out. And I'm like, well, make it at least 30 minutes out because I have their dog going home. So they pushed it back, worked out fine. No big deal there, but it just kind of is what it is. So went ahead and got that done. From there, we was able to I finished up the show. My wife asked me what time I was coming back. And I said, I don't know, probably pretty soon. They wanted to go to the store. So I headed back home. I was done with the show anyway. It was kind of a cold, breezy day. So it wasn't really that big a deal. I didn't get to see the guy I was looking for. I was trying to find so I could introduce myself and see if we could basically collaborate on some intelligence of how to build a shop, but kind of is what it is there. So I went ahead and said hold it. From there, got back to the house. Both dogs already went home, and that was easy. Had another dog here still that I was hanging out with. And then they went to the store, and from there, I got a couple of little things done. While they went to the store, actually was inside because it was running pretty good. So I sat inside and it was chilly in that. So me and the dog were inside to watch part of a movie on the actual TV, which I never watched movies on TV. So it's kind of we were in for me. Ended up eating a little bit of potato chips, kind of a little snack there. So they got back from the store, got everything all put away, got the house all closed up. So we didn't have the dog getting out. So the dog got in the main house. And I went for my run, got my run in, got back from there, got cleaned up, had dinner. We ended up having, I guess, beef and noodles, mashed potatoes and corn, and not sure why, but mom made it like hours earlier. I have no idea what happened there, but because it is what it is. So I guess that way we can have leftovers even the first time we eat it. So who knows? We reheated it all up, ate that, and then I headed back outside, and then wife was in the office. I went and checked on her, kind of talked to her for a little bit, and she was expressing some concerns about her new position at the company and talking about different things and how these things don't make any sense and how there's some screw ups and companies send invoices and then they send another invoice with like 2 more things on it. It's like 20 things on the invoice. They send a new invoice with 2 more things on it. So now there's 22 things on it, but there's a whole new invoice number. And I'm like, well, that's fucking dumb. So kind of is what it is there. So yeah, there was that to deal with, which is never necessarily a good thing, but it is what it is. So she got to vent, and this time, unlike last time trying to deal with some other accounts and stuff, I was able to give her some advice on understanding what was happening, and said it helped a lot. This time I was unable to help her in any way, shape, or form, which made me feel very inferior and very crappy, but it is what it is. So I went ahead and headed back out, finished up my cigar, and then ended up chatting through. She asked me earlier in the day too, also I forgot, that how I was doing with my dog being gone, and it sucks. I still just randomly start crying out of nowhere, which is so ridiculous because it's a dog, man, and it shouldn't matter that much, but it does, and it kicks my ass, and it's still hard for me to talk about it without my voice cracking because it's bullshit and it sucks, and I'm not good with it, but what are you gonna do? You gotta suck it up, move on forward, and keep on going. So yeah, that's what we got right there. Got done with that, headed back in. Didn't have any snacks for late night. Usually I do, but wasn't feeling it tonight. So watched a little bit of TV with her in the bedroom. We're watching a show called Atypical. I think we're on season 2, I believe. And it's an interesting show. We watched an episode of it. Then we headed to sleep. She had to get up early to go to the last physical therapy appointment. And then I had to get up early, so I had the dog getting dropped off at like 7, and then I got the dog getting dropped off like 9. So got to be ready for them. So that's all I got for right now. I will talk to you guys tomorrow. Have yourself a safe, wonderful day. Thanks for watching.